Okay, y'all. So welcome to the Home Depot, the Best Buy, and Mr. Catfish. That's Austin's favorite Taiwanese that they have on the east side of Austin, and 3:57 p.m. of 1855 to 1930 you have that all year, and you go through those decades, for 224 hours a month. And you just do them over again and go through different sects of its compassionate drive, and that's just teaching you more of the foundation of itself, and that gets you more influence in what sports you like to get into. And it might not just be a sport. It might just be a job or something like that. Something that'll put money in your pocket and keep you wealthy, and keep you on your stabilized qualification. And other than that, you just working with Amazon and Enterprise and aquatics division. So you just working on separation of powers of 759 different sheets. And that's basically where you're just adding up invoice, and you're dividing it by bill statements and making its compassionate company more reliable to its needs and its standards. And that's basically where you do at LifeWorks, and so on with those compassions at 80. So it enlightens your spirit up. It enlightens your spirit up and gives you a ultimate look of 1857 to to 20 to 2022 at 80. And that's basically where you get more of PMC2 squared analysis, where you can use it more often for a more clearance budget, and you're able to save a little bit more money on it. And that's some of the fundamentals of PMC as you get more synchronized to the benefits that it creates for you or produces for you. And that's just 2010 to 2030. And that's just basically what we came up with so far out of our 45.95 year expensary, out of 1945 to 2075, 80 to 2075. And that's just basically where we go up against our years of communications and adaptations. And you got to start somewhere in order to be the greatest of your kind. And it's basically where we're trying to look and see what kind I am, and trying to figure out what kind that is the world in 1857 of 2010. And that's just basically going towards college behavior, where you don't need to be able to go through that. Is basically a simple math. You learn that 2008. You're able to read it, or is able to be told to you. You learn that, and you learn the basics of the titles of the scene. And that just comes with reading 3, 5 to 9 pages. And you're not being lazy. You can't be lazy. You got to be on your job. You got to be on point. You got to be able to show that your statistics is there, and you got like 395 statistics to capitalize on, and it got to be a positive. It got to be something like capitalism. Something that you can do in the acres, something that you can do in the acres of land, that's promoted and produced in the community lands, everywhere in your state of 371 states, 80. So with that comes up a big graphic league of college landscaping, which goes to my ownership once again. So that's the final and outlasting chapter of life right there. Although we own the land on college on college debates on $45,000, and it's basically where we're able to make a greater completion of land property, and owning it for the land's sake of 2060 to 2021, and that's basically where you get more into January from spring and to fall. Um, it's just different vocabularies of where my high school diploma leads me as far as my education, and knowing where I have to start my trials to begin a bigger lead of compassions as far as um, what major ideals that I can come up with that'll make a greater point towards the New Deal, or points that become a common interest, and it's more like a common conflict. And it's just like if the fire truck associate heard something about something going on as far as a fight or a house on fire or something like that. You hearing those advisories and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically where you get in the whole 1968 to 2027 out at, and that's basically where you're working on other than living in your home in your home at the time, 80. So that's just the area of 1948 to 1995, and I just living there, 80. So taking that back, PMC is a greater exchange of being able to promote more productive skills, and this is one of the most accredited companies that I make, other than making something with 3,500, making money out for 3,500, or making money off of 35,000. And PMC is an excellent producer at those aerodynamics, and that's basically what it is. It's an aerodynamic detector. It searches for all the good necessary profiles that I need to be able to update, and it's another way how to contain those bill statements. How to take bill statements in for an order and be able to get it ordered, and that's basically how you got to work out the days that it will come, and the day how you plan to receive it, and that's basically working out between 300, well, three days, 7 days, and 4 days, 80. So you have to work it out during that time, since you're working with a distance area, and it's not particularly driving that gets you there at my expense, just because I'm not the driver right now. My truck is down, and not able to purchase a newer vehicle at the time. So, that's just me at 27 to 2024 80. So that's basically me doing my thing around that area. And, that's just basically trying to get sleep from football. We had a hectic discovery of playoffs, and, we made it all the way through the season. And that came with spring game and 7-on-7. So on total, you was running 995 months instead of 335 months. So instead of 2 years, you was running 4 years, and that's basically where you get your tired dehydration coming from, and that's basically what I got to get my trans tax reduced on as I get 30,000 in that, and that's basically where I get better payments, and that's basically where we got to urbanize our trans tax for each other, and get um, a common mutual itinerary or a schedule for one another so we can see each other when we need to see each other, as far as it being a team component specialist. If this is, a little bit of Reagan specialties are in it, you need to be able to see your special stars and be able to grant them better itineraries versus, them giving you 1,500. And it's basically that's basically how you get more that's how you get more approved by acceptance, and that's basically how you earn creds based off of PMC. So basically it was just a graph grid, and now we're making it more of a authorized acceptance. And you have to be part of PMC groups in order to do a lot of software entertainment in 2022. And this is basically where that comes from. And we all inspired these companies to become more traditional, to knowing what PMC2 squared is and how it reacts to software the software websites, and all those digital datas of 1926 to 2065. And we just wanted it, in 2018 it was more like we wanted it to be authorized by Google, which it was in 2018. And after that, it was basically accepted by Discover. And Discover was more like, why don't we just make a whole new card called PMC and add bonus points to it? And every time you make a sale, you get like 950 dimes every sale you make, so you get cash back in an acceptable way. And it's more free trade endowed. It has its own free trade agreement onto it, so it's a more platform card known for its abbreviances. It has $98,000 of total trivias that it can play to make a bigger bonus for itself that you can you can wander with, and it still give you enough clearance so you can make the next purchase that you need to make, as far as a soft drink, a fast food product. And then last but not least, we wanted it to be certified by Comcast Grid, which is basically where you just making points by making 985 dimes, and that's basically the base of the layers or the levels that you have on a building. And then you have 665 dimes, which is the amount of invoices that you have. And it's basically where you get 975 invoices in that. And that basically goes into the building of the forms of the files. And that's basically where you do your calculating and adding up based off of what you sell and what you have for yourself. And that's basically a office manager out of Mr. Catfish that they sell the common snacks or the common foods that they always have, and it's always fair. My proposition and my perspective, it was always fair to be able to have the invoice, and the customer wants Mr. Catfish, and we'll have some of the best products out there. And if you wanted that product, then all you have to do is just go to Mr. Catfish and get that product, and it'll be already made for you and already paid for as well, as if it's an invoice on its made requirements, since the invoice is already paid for at the time. And we're talking about the after effects of the paid invoice, and that goes more times than natural, as find a common attribute, as you find a common attribute that gives you more available space as far as what you would like to buy and what you would like to eat and entertain yourself with, and that invoice to give you everything you need. And so that's stuff that PMC requires for you to have. And PMC 2 Squared is the one that have all that. So that's just the difference between Catfish Industries, EcoLeaf, and PMC 2 Squared, which means that EcoLeaf is more of the car investments. And that's basically where you're working on car dealerships and all that good stuff. So PMC would have been the car dealership excellence, but it was EcoLeaf that was the car dealership excellence. Just because PMC was more of the state government carbohydrates, it defined what the state government was allowing to give to the what what the state government was allowing to give to the local states. And that's basically where you wanted to give a treaty to 951 times, 451 times a local state. And that's what we was doing in my job, when we was on the south side of Austin. Was working in that little building where we was handling paper and, handling boxes and shipping them to their districts. We was handling them like that, and it's basically where we was getting more into that scholastic lead area of not just testing, but more into the area of where the location is coming from. You working with a deeper, bolder look of distribution at the time. Distribution at the time, which is a spec to PMC 2 Squared, because it's a philosopher in world cultures. So as long as they have that, it's pretty good at what it stands for. And that's basically how it rejuvenates its compassion. And PMC 2 Squared is going to be one of the next chapters of the Forbes, as we get one of the fullest companies that we can extravagate in. If we just get over this 12:57 a.m. rise from purple, orange, and green. And that's basically where you're working on 3:30 p.m. Working on 3:30 p.m. and it's one of the best hours of the day. And that's basically midpoint hours where you're working on systematic schedules, and it's basically being a administrative assistant where you just clocking in for appointments and location devices. So you're doing a lot more of the distribution part. So that's the next level of my steps I go 9, 7, 5 to the distribution departments and work my distribution location detections. And that's about 97, 52 different obstacles that you work with on a 30-year investment. And that's basically where you do your processing. And that's basically what you're stuck with. So basically what I would have loved to do in at work that I didn't do in school, that was quite acceptable, and didn't really mean too much harm to my body work or to my neural mind. That was just registering files, and with registering files, you're doing location just like that, and that's basically just combining like terms, and that's basically what this mathematical or this world cultures or this geometry figure supports. And it's basically, as you combine like terms, that's basically what you're doing as you're combining combinations and patterns, and you're figuring out different sorts of ways to comply with processing. And just like DHL and just like UPS, it's just a processing type deal. You got to use your physical acknowledgments. Other than that, that's just like what we're just like learning in geometry and stuff. PMC just does a lot more of, it can do the same thing as the prominent company, but it just does a lot more. So it's like, unlike Intel is like PlayStation. So other than Intel has like a Foursquare department. They're working with microscopics, and in PlayStation and PMC2 Square, we're working with, no, PlayStation and EcoLeaf, we're working with macro planes, and macroscopics, and that's basically where you're working on trading codes, and that's where you're making 375 cars, and you're trading codes like that, and being able to know which driver is what driver. So you just got to start a base drive of what the car do and how the driver reacts to its car. And that's basically how you start your career day as you get more into your automotive specialist, support specialist. And that's basically what you do as you get onto EcoLeaf platforms. And this is just switching the card up, switching the two cards up between EcoLeaf and PMC, and their strategies and what they do on a daily basis of 12:50 p.m. It's two different companies, but they have two different buildings and two different ways of relations of how they relate to themselves. So it's two different capitalisms. So money isn't an issue. I make $80 million a year. That's just from 2020 to 2060. That's $80 million a year. So you're gonna be in a less cycle of being in a rut at 80. So that's basically what that new car is basically for. You're not getting it just to shine and stunt and be all the glamorous that you want to be. No, you're getting it just because it's a nice car, and that's basically what goes with a nice bill statement at 80. So you're not in trouble for getting something that money wouldn't get. Is basically paying for ordinance at 80. So that's basically what you're doing when you're trading codes and figuring out patterns. It takes up to about 98 hours. So you got all the hours to trade codes and do stuff like that, and and that stuff just goes between the Impala 2018 or a CTSV Escalade. So you're trading codes on those units as possible, and it's like 98, 13 of those units each individual. And other than that, you just transition in bill statements and invoices and invoice schedules, and going towards payroll and the hours worked towards the hours that was seen by the yellow, red, and green propositions that was going on. And that's basically where you're getting paid for more hours of the 375 hours that they was there. And that's the point that we're probably not seeing that happens in the wind speed, is that 375 hours could be coming from any type of frequency. You got like 975 frequencies going one direction. That's why you hear different sounds coming from multiple different tones. And that's basically where you're getting Google, Discover, and Comcast. And, that's basically where you're getting that satellite networking, and that's coming from off of Chicon, and then it goes to Rumberg, and then it goes to Riverside, and then it goes to Lamar, and then it goes to Burnett, then it goes to Breaker, and then it goes to Guadalupe. And that's basically the mainstreams of the local state that we're in. That's basically keeping it more capitalized and more metropolitanized, for the local laws and the local municipal to be accepted as a whole $85,000 investment. And that's basically where you spend your most prominent $951 at. And out of your whole 1851, you want to spend it on the frequency of the GDP. So you want to make sure that the full customer that's getting the full praise of your restaurant, being aware, you want to make sure that they're getting the best brief that they can see. They've seen everything they wanted to see, and they had a good moment. So with that, they live 30 years more. And that's basically what we're doing after they come, and they can come for 375 times and eat a blissful decent meal. And that's basically takes 975 hours. And that's basically where you're spending 275 hours at the mall. And it's basically working on 2018 of 2008. And you're tired and distressed already, so you need to be at the hotel. You need to be at the hotel relaxing for 3 weeks, getting all that compatible. And that's basically working on 375 hours in and out every year now, since 2008. And that's basically where we're going through after that. And making sure that we can get as best convenience as we can possibly. And making sure that it's a overwhelming title at the end of the day, so you can get a good night's sleep and recover from a positive action replay. So you can come back to work and do the same thing and make positive benefits the next day. And that's basically where it comes from. Cleaning aid. You got to make sure your house is clean, and you're enabled by the common right that endows to you. And that's basically how you want to urbanize yourself. Yeah, but just for the most part, this video is mostly about Google, Discover, and Comcast. And this basically just tells you more about the subscriptions that is under other than its Google Infomark or its Discover PMC2 squared or its Comcast grid. We just wanted to add updated subscriptions to those in channels, knowing that it's a federalized capitalism going on, and we just want to be able to update and enhance that data. So, we always know we always had some money coming around somewhere, and we always had a 2050, and, it was always lucky 2008 to 2027. And, that's basically where you're getting all your convenience coming from, purple, green, and orange. And, that's this stuff just basically started 2024, and, this is just basically new different profiles of cases that came out from 1885 to 2023. And it's basically how you're ending the year this year. And it's basically where we're looking for more next year. And that's basically where we can get $39.95. We're able to get as much currency as we like, eating corn, rice, chicken, and eating the stuff that delays our day and gives us a better a better univision of states. And it's basically how we unify our compounds.